Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
On. I didn't have the mic on. Good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, February 13th, 2023. Welcome to the Java Cafe. It is Mental Health Mondays, and I think I got the notes in here. You all are definitely holding me down and letting me know I didn't have the volume on. I appreciate all of you. We do have the sound. I'm so glad I got the sound set before Donna jumped in talking about it's janky. But good morning to everybody. Good morning, Tay. Good morning to Mama Java. Good morning, Sister Debbie. Good morning to Nicole. Good morning to Miss T. Good morning to Daryl from Tennessee. Good morning to Opal as well. Again, it is Mental Health Mondays, and we have someone who's not a guest in the Java Cafe. She's actually, as I was saying, a friend and partner. We've done a lot of work together in the space of mental health. And this Friday, DDs Cry is sponsoring, I believe, the third or fourth Mental Health While Black Summit. Started in 2019, adjusted in 2020, and I think 21, and I think there was a live in 22. But Toy will get us together in just a few moments, but we're going to go ahead and bring Toy in. I know you all have a lot of commentary about the Super Bowl last night, Riri's performance and everything like that, and we'll talk about that. We'll hear from Toy. I don't know if Toy was up, because Toy's like me. She turns in a little early here and there, but let's go ahead and bring my good friend and sister into the room. Toy Burton, good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm a little tired because, I kind of stayed up a little late last night. I didn't finish the Super Bowl. I was like, okay, the performance is over. I'm all set. Patriots on playing. Like, I'm good. How are you?
Same. After the performance was done, went home and got in bed.
Oh, wait a minute. You went to a Super Bowl party, Toy?
Yes. So it was Jared Hick's birthday yesterday, and he had a Super Bowl party. Yep, / birthday party. So I was.
He turned 32. I seen something on Twitter.
Yes.
Seen him put a picture.
32.
Okay. Shout out to Jared. Happy birthday to him. But Toy, we're here today to talk about mental health while Black. And, a couple of folks have said, oh, you keep talking about it. It's the same subject. But I kind of think we need to keep talking about this because there's so much that's fighting our mental health. And so for those that may not know you, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself. And Dr. Brandy should be in by then. And everybody, while Toy is doing that, and Toy, you can end with your word for the day that describes how you're feeling today from a mental health standpoint. But folks, put your word in the comments. How are you feeling today? What is your word for Mental Health Monday? Toy, go ahead, over to you. I like the glasses too.
Oh, yeah. I needed just to see the computer screen. Like, geez.
I definitely understand. I actually got my little thing here. So while you're talking, I'll go ahead.
Hi, everyone. In case you do not know me, my name is Toy Burton, and I'm the founder and executive director of DDs Cry, Suicide Prevention and Family Support, and the Roxbury Unity Parade. So DDs Cry is named after my sister, Danita Shane Morris, who died by suicide when she was 23 in 1986. I started DDs Cry in 2017 after I noticed that organizations that focus on suicide prevention wasn't focusing on Boston's Black and Brown community. So DDs Cry is mental health education and suicide preventions for Black and Brown people.
And
but
Dr.
we know that suicide has no racial barriers, so we serve everyone. But our main focus is getting the word out to Boston's Black and Brown communities.
And I mean, it's something that's really needed, Toy, because I mean, before I think you came on the first time and it was We Need to Know before there was a Java with Jimmy. And we talked about this. But suicide in the Black community, it's happening, but we don't talk about it a lot. And so why this mission of getting information and awareness around suicide specifically, though you serve everybody, there is a much needed focus on Black and Brown. Why so?
You just said it, because we don't talk about it.
Okay.
And as long as we don't talk about it, we won't seek help about it, right? So we need to start normalizing the conversation, because not only did my sister die by suicide, I am also a suicide attempt survivor.
Yourself.
So,
yep.
Yes. So, and I never talked about that. Like, it happened, and I was a cutter. I used to inflict self-harm upon myself, but I never talked about it. So until we start talking about it and letting people know what's going on with us, that's the only way we're going to get the support we need. So DD's Cry is about normalizing the conversation.
That's one of the things that I think is paramount about the platform. And one of the things that really caused us to work so close together. I think we would have without the pandemic, but when the pandemic kicked in, I saw what you were doing and I'm like, hey, don't just totally cancel. Take the, and I mean, it wasn't all this, but take the Java Cafe and let's take it virtually, because Toy, it is important. And Courtney Gray has talked about it for years, but we have young Black kings that are committing suicide. And we don't, Dr. Brandy, I think it was last year at the men's mental health while Black summit, Dr. Brandy talked about a lot of disproportionate numbers of Black and Brown boys that are committing or attempting to committing suicide.
Yes. So it's so funny, because I said this to a friend earlier today, and he was saying, about being PC. So we do not say committed suicide.
Okay.
So
yes.
Committed is like putting blame on the person who died, because you know how we say somebody committed murder or committed rape. So instead of saying committed suicide, we say died by suicide.
Thank you, because words matter.
Like somebody dies by cancer, they die. It's not their fault. We don't want to criminalize the person who was sick. So
Absolutely.
we say they died by suicide.
Okay. And that's something that we need the audience. Please take that away today. From now on, when we talk about it, death by suicide. Now, are we still saying attempted as well?
Yes.
Because, okay. All right. Just making sure, because words matter. And in talking, and you've taught me a lot about telling our stories and coming into spaces and sharing our story, because we'll find out that we are not the only one. There's probably somebody watching right now, either knows someone that died by suicide or someone that attempted, and let's keep it 100, may have attempted themselves. And so why the focus on mental health while Black? Because everybody deals with mental health issues, but why specifically mental health? There's a focus on suicide, but then in general, you also promote mental wellness and addressing mental illness that we talked about, I think, in 2019. And so why, Toy, do you specifically stick to, push, be committed to this thing of mental health while Black?
Because we know as Black people, we go through extra.
What define that extra?
It's just, the extra could be that we grow up just being going into a store and being followed. Like, other races don't have to deal with that trauma. We're known to live in neighborhoods that have noise pollution, air pollution, gun violence, domestic violence, all that. Not saying other races do not, but we have the brunt of it.
The brunt of it, and a huge disproportionate impact.
Yes. Thank you. Disproportionate impact. Yes. So
And
mental
so,
health while Black is different. It's different for us. You know, and our outcomes and the service models need to be different for us for those reasons.
and it's
So I
one of the.
always says,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yes, go ahead. That, you know, there's this cookie cutter solution or service model, but no, we need something different to reach the Black and brown community.
And do you think, Toy, that as much as you have been advocating and naming this, we have Mental Health Mondays. We, Dr. Simon is just put out the $5 million, and we're going to, get some support. There's the behavioral health centers that came up. But do you believe, as a community, specifically a Black community, do you believe that we've reached the point of awareness, so much so that we're taking advantage of some of the limited, let's just say, options and resources that are available to us? Do you think that we've got to a point that we need to chill with the awareness?
No, definitely not.
Why not?
But I definitely think that COVID has helped bring it more to the forefront.
Okay. Yep.
So, we got to be like, thank God for COVID, that more people are more focused on their mental health and more aware of their mental health. But as DDs Cry was created to fill those gaps, the gaps are still there. So we need to keep banging on the drum and talking about it.
Absolutely. And Heidi is saying knowledge is only power when it's acted upon. And so we're getting the knowledge out there. How important, Toy, is it for us as Black folks, as everything that you named, that we go through just a little bit more? How important is it for us to make our overall health a priority? And then we'll go a little bit deeper, because mental wellness is health. And, we both talked about stop trying to separate the two, because they both, and so
there's no separation. There's no separation between physical health, financial health, food insecurity, home stability. All that is all connected. If my money's funny, it's going to affect me mentally, which can in turn present itself in the physical way, right? Through anxiety, chest pains, panic attacks, headaches. It's all connected. So I always say, with suicide prevention, because DDs Cry is a suicide prevention organization, we can't prevent suicides without addressing mental health.
Absolutely.
Right.
So yes, I definitely agree. And when you said that, one of the other things I thought about is, I don't believe, and I haven't, the thought has crossed my mind, but I haven't went as far as an attempt. And so, am I right in some of your experience, and you've talked to people and moved in this space a lot more? Most people that make the attempt or complete it and die by suicide, they don't wake up just one Monday morning like this and decide, I am going to die by suicide. Do you believe that it's a buildup of things in the mental health space that consists of everything that you talked about? We're going to get ready to bring Dr. Brandy in too.
Okay. So when I had my attempt, the one that sent me to the hospital, that I had to be, receive medical attention for, if I would have died that day, the people I was with that night would have been like, she was out drinking, we were having fun, like Toy was laughing. Yep. Toy was her usual self. But once I got, hey, Dr. B.
Jesus, she hung up on us that quick. Go ahead.
Once I got home, just a certain sadness just overtook me. I was just overwhelmed by it, a certain hopelessness. So, I mean, I had the thoughts prior to that day.
Yep.
Thinking that everyone in the whole world would be better off without me. In that moment, it was different than when I was around my friends in that moment. So even my walk home, I wasn't thinking once I get home, I'm going to do this. It was just something that came over me in that moment.
But do you agree that it did? Well, in that case, then it can happen in the moment. So is it like both end? And Dr. Brandy, please feel free to chime in here. We're talking about when people attempt or go through and die by suicide. It to me, it seemed that it's not one thing folks wake up in the morning. But Toy is also saying that in the moment, what is going on, or maybe a little bit of what I'm saying, everything in that mental health space hits you. Toy refers to sadness. And so, Dr. Brandy, feel free. Good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning.
Good morning.
You all formal looking.
Yeah, look, y'all, I'm in the office today. So, I had to put on bottoms and a top. So,
okay. So we thank God for bottom. You know what? I'm not even going to touch that this morning about tops and bottoms. And so in that case, but Dr. Brandy, we are talking about you and Toy's work. You come on every Monday as Dr. Brandy, but you are a huge part, operations director, probably some clinical advising to Toy and DDs Cry. And so we just wanted to name that as well. But you and Toy work tirelessly to keep the awareness of mental wellness and addressing mental illness out there. And so I was asking Toy, why is it so important to do that? And specifically with us,
so
as you would say, with us.
So one thing, just want to shout out, it's a 3-person team, or
Yes.
actually sometimes 5-person. We count, Louis D. Brown Peace Institute. So I do want to give a shout out to Tania Shepard and her work and working.
You ain't going to get me in trouble next time she sees me. Okay. Thank you so much.
Alongside us and our groups and everything. I think one of the things, as Toy mentioned, is it depends how you look at the timing of it, right? So it depends if you think a couple of hours is a plan, or if it's an overnight, is that a plan? Because it depends. What I've seen is that it's different for each person.
Yep.
But regardless of the person, in that moment, the fog that they are in tells them that this is the right thing to do. But for some people, that may be they've thought about it overnight, in that they take the time to write out notes, to make plans for when they're not there. There's one survivor who attempted off the Golden Gate Bridge. What he talks about is the day that he took the bus. He knew exactly where he was going. He knew exactly what he was going to do when he got there. But he said, if one person smiles at me, if one person says, "How are you doing?" Because literally he describes that 2.5-hour bus ride, him crying the whole way to the Golden Gate Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And the only person who stopped and said something to him said, "Can you take my picture?" Right? And so it just depends how we look at that time and how we classify time.
Dr. Brandy's in the office today, so we're not getting her extended preacher version of story. The Toy's cracking up what she's telling us about today. But
I got the door shut. So.
You got the door shut, so you got to kind of, okay. Well, all right, we're going to keep it low. But one of the things we are amplifying in all seriousness is that there is a difference for us when it comes to mental health. One, mental health, I think in general, there's a taboo. Two, we have been so mistreated by the medical industry. There's a historic past that we've been traumatized to, or you referred to that. And then also let's name the fact that we tend to gravitate more toward folks in general that identify with our culture, with our life experience, some sort of commonality. And when it comes to therapists and behavioral health caregivers, there aren't a whole lot like us. And we also have to we can't presume that everyone that looks like us has our same life experience and be able to identify with what we're dealing with away from those 6 to 8 years that they go to school and get that degree. And so this is one of the reasons why we keep pushing this issue of mental health while Black. Toy, let's jump into Friday. What can we look forward now? It's at Encore. And I like the fact that it's at Encore. And tell for those that don't know, why do we go to Encore? Why? What's the reason that we go to that wonderful place?
Okay. So I am a guest. I'll put it that way, a guest of Encore. So when I'm there, I see other people having their conferences and stuff, and they got their badges and stuff, and it's all white. It's all white people that I'm like, you know what, we deserve to be in this space. I'm like, we deserve to have linen and be served and everything else. And Encore has 4 levels of free parking, and they have complimentary valet. I'm like, we deserve that.
Yes.
Copley Marriott is good, but you got to pay for parking, And they have shuttles that pick people up at the Orange Line. I believe Wellington Station, like certain locations, they provide free shuttles every 30 minutes.
Okay. What can we look forward to?
Awesome.
And the food is awesome, and the rooms are awesome. And yes. And so what do we have to, what, Brandy?
The AV department, the audio visual department, they come through. Because you know how you go to some conferences and you ask the folk who work there, they be like, I don't know.
Excuse me, as somebody that ran their first 2-day conference that ran AV for Brother Emerson and Anna, shout out to all the AV people that make the PowerPoints happen and the music. Yes. Oh, wait, speaking of music, Toy, are we well, go ahead. Tell us the early part about Friday. I got a question toward the end of Friday, but go ahead. What are we looking forward to on Friday?
Toy
got a little
okay, so it's an all-day event.
Wait a minute, hold on, Toy, because you froze a little bit. And Brandy, yeah, you're here. But Brandy was going to say, Toy, like Brandy, her internet is always on point. Go ahead, Toy. I'm sorry. Just a little bit of shade.
I know, right?
I'm about to lose my mixer and keyboard.
So we begin at 8 a.m. with breakfast. I'm always working, and I have all these windows open. It's not often that I do a Zoom, and I freeze, right?
Okay.
Because I have all.
Now make sure you close all that.
Hear me now? Am I good?
We can hear you, but you're freezing a little bit. So go in if you need to and close another window. Don't close this window. Okay, she closed the other window. Zoom was probably open just by the fact that we see that. But Dr. Brandy, tell us a little bit about.
Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. Yeah. Yes, we can still hear you. But now we got to get
because it's telling me that my browser. It says my browser has lost connection to my camera.
Oh shoot! And then there goes Brandy disappearing too.
No.
I
was trying to be in solidarity with Toy.
Because
you know what? I'm not even.
Because it's telling me to my browser. And
you could go, Toy, jump out. You could go ahead, jump out, close out, and then click the link again, and you'll be good. It'll take like 30 seconds. I'd rather we be able to see you and see. Oh, there you go. All right, there you go. Stay there and tell us about Friday.
Okay, so Friday, get there at 8 a.m. Tickets are on sale on Eventbrite. 8 a.m. starts with breakfast from 8 to 9. Then we're going to have the program's going to start at 9 o'clock. Our host for the event is Courtney Cole from CBS Boston, WBZ Channel 4. Then we're going to have a fireside chat with Amari Paris Jeffries from Embrace Boston with your host, Java Jimmy Hills. He's going to be there and have this conversation with him. That's our Black History piece. And we're going to have a panel with family members who have a loved one that died by suicide,
And one other question. At the end, are we having a little get together like we had last year?
Yes.
We are? Okay.
Yes.
So, not only go Brandy, go ahead. What you going to say, Brandy?
Oh no, I'm just saying, y'all come out. It's going to be an amazing presentations and things like that, but also just an opportunity to come together, embrace one another, Black History Month, Black Mental Health Matters. And yeah, this is year 3, 2, no, 2, year 2.
Is it year 2
So
or
it's year 2 for the summit,
Yeah.
but we've been having mental health while Black since 2019. So mental health while Black is the conversation, it's the dialogue, it's the discussion. So we have had, with the help of James, virtual discussions, our mental health while Black discussions. We have youth and mental health. We have maternity and mental health, hair and mental health, finances and mental health.
Metco? We did Metco. We did Metco
Yes,
and mental health.
that was a good one. Metco and mental health. You know, we had a conversation with past MECO students and talk about code switching and going to school in white communities, leaving their own communities. But all these past discussions, they are on DDs Cry's Facebook page. If you haven't liked the page, go and like DDs Cry. Can follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
And Heidi, that's where you can also get the information for Friday. It is an awesome event. And I gotta admit, pulling up and there's a mental health impact for me, because y'all know I like to travel and stay in hotels and stuff. Pulling up, you get that service, they do the valet, you go in, you check in, and it's just, and the views are good everywhere. We lost Dr. Brandy. All right. And so, you know, even though you may not stay, just being on that property, there's an ability to walk a certain part of the harbor. And so there's a couple of breaks. Can't take too much of a break because you're going to miss your food and your lunch, but we got Dr. Brandy back. See, she was getting ready. She's standing in solidarity with Toy. Mm-hmm.
I had to do it for Toy. I had to do it.
No, I never left completely.
Oh, so y'all calling each other out this morning, Jesus. But no, folks, it is really important to consider coming on Friday. I know for those that work days and everything like that, but if you can take the time off, see if you can get, I don't know if we have to, Dr. Brandy, at some point, we're going to be working on CEUs, right? But if you work in the mental health space, like tell your boss you need to be there, especially if you are an ally and you fall under the hue lighter than me and you provide services to people on the range of these hues on here. Tell your boss you need to sign up and be there, and tell them they need to sponsor you and also make a donation to the next event. Go ahead, Dr. Brandy. I'm sorry.
Yeah. There are a few companies who paid for their employees to attend.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, good.
And it'd be great if others do the same. This is a conversation everyone needs to hear. No matter what field you are in, mental health impacts everyone.
Should the insurance companies that give the approvals for your 6th appointments, and then you got to get another approval if your therapist says you need another 3, should they be in the room as well?
Everybody. Mental health impacts everyone, all ages, all boxes and categories we check.
She said all boxes. Woo.
I mean, everyone, it impacts everyone.
Yeah.
So being in this field as long as I have, I've seen individuals as young as 6 and as old as 92.
Yep.
Express suicidality in different ways. So it impacts everyone.
When you shared last year, Dr. Brandy, I don't know if it was the 6-year-old or it could have been, but you did your presentation, and when you talked about and showed the numbers of children that attempt, and I don't know if we got the rate of those that die by suicide, 13 and under, but my God, at 6, 7 years old.
Yeah.
Well, and there was a story a couple of years ago, unfortunately, wasn't there a young lady who was being bullied and she did die by suicide? She was like 6 or 8 years old.
Yeah.
Down south somewhere. And so it is just
Black and brown girls and boys. We are seeing an increased rate, especially during the pandemic. And
we said that before. Yep.
Yeah. Something that the field is trying to get a head around is what will their mental health look like when they become young adults?
And that is
And so, because that's where we talk about ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. So how will this period of pandemic and academic loss, as well as some of the mental health burdens and weight, how will that transfer in these young people? And
absolutely.
Yeah, it's something we have to pay attention to.
Toy, that may be something that we have to delve in. And we did it. We did a series of what, 11 or 12 weeks with Sister Crystal McClure when we talked
Yeah.
about parenting and whatnot. And so that really, I mean, what we're seeing, I was sitting the other day and what happened with Tyler Lawrence, the 13-year-old that was killed, and what's going on in our Boston public schools and whatnot. A few months ago, I was saying, and I still say, we haven't seen the full impact of COVID, but it's starting. And so it's imperative we have folks like you, Toy, that are committed to this, because to Dr. Brandy's point, and Toy, you can get ready to close us out. We don't know. We're seeing the evidence of unaddressed trauma coming out in our young adults and adults now. Kurt often says, and I cringe when he says it, he's like, forget the kids. We got to work on us so they can be healthy. But Toy, I see you get ready to respond there. What is your, to what Dr. Brandy was saying, post-pandemic, why is it important that folks like you stay in place?
It's important because we got to keep bringing it to the forefront, and we got to keep normalizing the conversation. Until the conversation is normalized, people are not going to feel comfortable to seek the help that they need. I mean, in recent weeks, we hear about all these murder-suicides, like whole families being killed, and then the person dying by suicide. So there's something missing that people ain't feeling comfortable about seeking help for themselves, or even just seeking help for their family members. That the wife is not able to say, you know, my husband's been acting erratic lately, or whatever the case may be, because we're so often taught what happens in the house stays in the house. No, we need to start letting people know what's going on so we can receive the support that we need.
I'm going to ask a question in the comments there for those of you that are in. Please let me know, do you know someone that has attempted, or, and let me just correct that there, or has died by suicide? I'm just curious of those of you that are in the audience right now, because those that are still, we talk about the survivors of homicide, but I think at some point we need to start talking about the survivors of suicide as well, because there's a whole mental health impact for those that are here from the, I didn't see the signs. It's a little bit, let's just own, there's a wee bit of pride there. I didn't see the signs. I wasn't able, you know, to help. It's a good motive, but, and so maybe that's another thing, Toy, we need to do at some point, is talk with and create spaces for survivors as well, because they're left with a certain level of trauma as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
things we do with our groups. You know, Healing Begins with Me. We do our summer series. We do, and we are at the conference this Friday. We're going to have survivors talking about their experiences, because it's important. That's how we learn, and that's how we continue to break down the stigma, have conversations, and be open and honest about it.
Look at these answers, and Dr. Brandy, you know a lot of the Java fam in here, and these are familiar names. And one of the things that Heidi has raised, and we talked about this too, Toy, was domestic violence in our faith communities needs to be addressed. And we did a faith one, if I remember right, because Heidi's also saying we're told in our churches we don't need therapy because we have the Holy Ghost. I'm sorry, Holy Spirit. I'm old school. Holy Ghost. And so that's something, again, someone is saying the signs were there, but at your best efforts, it was to be a veil. If you could clarify that statement, Rhonda, that would be great for us. But there are a lot of folks in that know someone, know of an attempt, and know someone that was unfortunately they did die by suicide. Toy, what were you going to say?
I was going to say the ones that we did with the faith leaders, and
yes,
we talked about how they address mental health, and none of their answers were, you know, bring it to the Holy Ghost.
No, they kept it real. It was what Arthur Gordon, Willie Broderick, and Jeff Brown.
Nope, Jeff Brown, Art Gordon, and Audie Lynch.
Audie, yeah, he's a clinician. So yeah, and then we got to get maybe Dr. Broderick's wife in here, because she is a first lady.
Devin. Yes.
Yeah, because I was so happy that she was with him because 12th had a lot of deaths. A lot of churches did, but 12th also has kind of a more senior, population. And it was like every week. Every week I would check in and I have a service. I have 2 services this weekend. And so that again, we've covered it all, but unfortunately, there's still a need to still cover and normalize and keep these conversations going, because we don't know within the faith community how many of these pastors sat on the side of the bed and gave it some thought. And let's just name for the faith community, for many of us, one of the only things that holds that thought is the church community teaches that, if you take your life, that's an automatic sentence to hell. You know what I mean? And so that Dr. Brandy, I see you frowned up. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
Well, no, they do a lot of research about this. The helping fields often need some of the most support. Like you think about your doctors, your EMTs, your frontline staff. If you're seeing the worst of the worst in terms of traumas and things like that, and you don't have a space to talk that or unload that, like you think, like I don't know if we think about that. Like an ER doctor every single day could see truly life or death.
And this is why the term clinical supervision in any helping field is imperative. Let's go back to my particular familiarity in wheelhouse. These street workers and trauma support people and folks from the Institute, and I'm sure Tina has, good clinical coverage in place. But these folks that are on the street, the city, the state, they all need to, as a part of their 35 or 40 hours, clinical supervision needs to be made available away from EPA or EAP.
Yeah.
Because sorry, I don't know how we got there. Toy, I said you were giving closing remarks before, but go ahead and give them again.
We walk into the car right now. We walk into the car. And we say,
shut up.
Later, we see boy say, you know what? I got a pie upstairs. Y'all want that pie or brittle? She'll be like, I got some brittle upstairs. Y'all.
Oh, Jesus.
So,
and let Heidi, thank you for your transparency. Heidi said, listen, when I had my attempt, I was in the beginning of ministry. So ministry, to your point, Brandy, and Toy has made it before, ministry does not exclude you from, and then don't be gay. And then, and that's a whole nother Toy. See what you done started this morning. We get ready to go off, Jesus. Domestic violence and suicide played out in this situation. And Rhonda, thank you for the clarity. She said the signs were there, but at your best effort, and this is Toy while you're here, at your best effort, resources were not available. And so this is important, folks. You can go get more information. Centoria Grant is in the room this morning. The pressure is all the more in ministry. Toy, I'm seeing a recurring theme here. We might need to do a Sunday night faith and mental health.
We can do that.
Okay. Go to DDsCry.org. Toy, oh Jesus. Brandy, can you put
DDsCry.com.
DDs Cry. See, that's why I was going to
.com.
Give the whole thing, Toy. Give the whole thing. It's been a while since we did Fridays at 5, so I'm a little rusty. www.dd. Go ahead, Toy.
DDsCry, DEEDESCRY.com.
Yep. And
go on Facebook, Instagram. If you want to join our groups, Healing Begins With Me is virtual. It happens on Thursday. It's a 5-week program. Email me at DDsCry@yahoo.com. We also have a group for attempt survivors. We also have a group for those who lost somebody by suicide. We have our men's group, which
hold on. So you already have a group for survivors of someone who was lost by suicide? That's already in place?
Yep, that's on Sundays.
Oh, okay.
All they got to do is email me for the link, and we can have that.
Okay.
The men's group happens on Tuesday. It's the second Tuesday of each month, so it is happening tomorrow at 3:00. If you have a man in your life, tell them to email me at that email address to get the link. We have our walk for attempt survivors called I'm Still Here. That happens in September at Franklin Park. And if you lost a loved one by suicide, we invite you to come to that walk too, with your T-shirts and your banners. And, let's remember that they were here and don't let their death be in vain.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Toy and Brandy, thank you so much for being here. It's been a while since the three of us have been together here in a space like this. And I'm looking forward to Friday because I learned so much in your last presentation, Dr. Brandy. Toy, I'm looking forward to the self-care that this event induces on a brother.
I'm looking for pretzels.
Oh, wait, the pretzel. You know what? Get off of here because we get ready to get in trouble. Excuse me, the pretzels. And Toy, I will bring some shoes and some slacks so I can join y'all. Because last time when that woman said you can't have a hat on, you need to have some shoes on.
No, the only thing is you cannot have on a baseball hat. That's the only thing.
My hair wasn't done. And I looked at her. I was like, all right, well, good night. All right. Don't forget, folks, this Friday, for more information, you could go to www.ddscry.com or to email Toy about any of the groups, the men's group, the survivors of suicide group. What other group did I miss? Recovery. And then there's also a general support group.
Yep. Healing begins with me.
So if you need any of the information, email Toy to get the details, but also this information is on the website as well. So you have options. The awareness, to Rhonda's point earlier, when she was talking about there wasn't information available. This is why DDs Cry exists. And so here's where you can get it. Heidi says she's taking, I think I may take PTO on Friday. Listen, you move in finance, you need mental wellness too. So tell them that you need to go to this so you can do all your Excel sheets right. All right. With that being said, thank you all so much. Tomorrow is Tuesday. The 14th is Bah Humbug Day. Happy Black Love Day. Sheena posted that February 13th is Black Love Day. And so I love both of you, celebrate both of you. And we'll do a Valentine's Day toast amongst the three of us this weekend.
All right.
Okay.
Dr.
Y'all know Dr. Brandy's in the office. She bye. See you later. Thank you.
No, and I will say for Heidi, that was a great game, Heidi. It's a great game.
Oh God. Toy. Toy, I don't know if you catch the Mondays, but Monday mornings turn to Monday morning football. Heidi and Brandy, and we didn't talk. So Toy, before you go, Rihanna's performance, what do you think?
Oh, so nobody won the contest.
I told Toy, remember I said to you, I was like, I think she might do.
What contest?
Be better have
so
money.
We had a contest for free passes to the summit that if you could guess what song Rihanna was going to do first, you would have won passes to the conference. And nobody said, "Be better have my money."
I was getting ready to say, maybe they didn't want to type that. You see how Toy was all politically correct?
I thought,
we can act like it's after dark. So I'm messing.
No, but I don't swear. So.
Yes, ma'am.
I thought you, but I thought it was, I mean, so one of the questions I did have was it live or was it lip sync?
I think she's saying over what they call a television track. You have the vocal in the background, but your mic is still on.
Yeah,
I heard some vocal on a couple of those notes, and I was like, okay, she's singing.
Yeah, so that was my only thing. But I mean, I thought the stage production was great. Yep. I mean, for me, it's not the best performance ever, and it's certainly not the worst. I would say it's kind of middle of the pack for me.
Charlotte says she lip synced some of it. Okay, Jesus, we get ready to get off of here because that's going to be another 20 minutes. I'm sure y'all got meetings.
But anyway, the game was the game made it worthwhile to stick it out because
were you with the Eagles?
Yes, I did.
You should have been because you're usually with them little flying birds from Atlanta. So who are you with?
I was
with Atlanta. Well, I went with my Patriots gear on, but if I had to choose who was going to win, I was rooting for
the Eagles.
The Eagles, yeah.
Okay.
I said Atlanta, Philadelphia.
We just, Brandy got to put her little Falcons plug in there, and she sent that subliminal over to you. All right, I'm getting off of here, everyone. Thank you both so much. I will see you guys Thursday, and we'll be in touch. Don't forget www.ddscry.com to get the link. It's not too late to register, right, Toy? When is the last day folks can register?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Shuts down tomorrow.
So you all have until tomorrow, because I know there's a lot of back work. You get your little packets, your little name badge and whatnot. It's a nice experience. So y'all should consider coming. All right. Thank you all so much. And we will see you. I'll see you two on Thursday. I'm going to go play a couple of videos for Black History, and then we're off of here.
All right.
All right. Love y'all.
Yep. Love you. Bye.
That was our Dr. Brandy and our wonderful CEO and founder, Toy Burton of DDs Cry. Don't forget, you can go to ddscry.com to get information about the conference. I'm going to see if this thing works for me, y'all. I don't know what it is here lately with the me sharing videos not doing what it's supposed to do. But for Black History Month, and also a month ago today, the Voices of Embrace made their debut at the Voices of Embrace. At the Embrace unveiling. And so I wanted to share. And also, let's talk about what's these two little heifers up on Twitter? Two of the racist ones that didn't appreciate the fact that Cheryl Lee Ralph sang the Black National Anthem. I can't. Y'all know. Oh God, what's their names? I saw the tweet a few minutes ago. Here it goes. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert lose it over Cheryl Lee Ralph's Black National Anthem, are immediately roasted by Twitter. One of them put up a tweet talking about Chris Stapleton just saying the most beautiful national anthem at the Super Bowl, but we could have gone without the rest of the wokeness. And then what's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene. Y'all know she got issues. Where's her tweet? It's no coincidence that I will be. Oh, hold on. I don't want to do the wrong quote. Where's the one from Green? One national anthem. Why is the NFL trying to divide us by playing multiple? Do football, not wokeness. I'm going to play the Black National Anthem right now as we get ready to close today. Performed by the Voices of Embrace. I'm sitting up here talking trash. I hope this thing works right, Jesus. I think we're going to be good. Y'all pray. Come on, please, Jesus, let this work. Okay, it looks like it's working. All right, we're going to go full screen. I think we got it to work, people. The Black National Anthem. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Have a great day, everybody. I have a gift card.
Every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the lifting sky. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea.
Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory.